Libra, hello and welcome. We're working with water spirits today. They were a little feisty. They were feisty in the Gemini reading, and in the Aquarius reading. I don't know why I started Aquarius before you guys, but I don't know. Save the best for last, right, Libra? I've been avoiding the area that I went down on the Gemini one. There are water spirits all up and down this river, but there are some like tree spirits, and they were messing with me. I'm really curious to listen to the Gemini reading to see if you could hear what they were doing. I don't want to be messed with. Don't mess with me. I wanted to like park it and do a reading down there, but I might for the other signs. I don't know if the trees down there don't want the air signs. I don't know. Or you're afraid of them. Some fairies are vampiric in nature and they feed off of negative emotions. So it's not that they have negative intentions. It's almost like, you know, like this werewolf card. It's like they were chill and fine, but then when you started to show some fear, they fed off of it a little bit, and now like they're bloodthirsty. You can't fear them. That was like one of the like first lessons when I actually started to like, I didn't recognize myself as pagan first, but when I first started to like work with goddesses, because I had worked with angels and gods for a little while. Messenger gods is what they're saying. But one of the first goddesses I connected with, when I connected with her, her energy was so powerful that I could not sleep for like, it was like 3 or 4 days. I couldn't sleep. And I was like, I was not in a psychosis. I just could not like rest. The like surge of energy was too much. And it like, I was wide awake. And I was not manic. I was not like being crazy at all. I was very much normal. It's just I couldn't sleep. But she like came into my room one of the first nights I connected with her, and she told me that I had to like face my fears, and then she kind of like disappeared, but I could still feel her. You have to face your fears when working with entities. You have to, because if you are spooked easily, it can become something that it'll make you fearful. It's the same as like when you deal with wild animals. The gods and goddesses are not necessarily, it depends on their nature, but fairies, which are lesser spirits. Somebody did a spell of communication and they're like waiting to hear back. I get that it's a masculine. This person might like Harry Potter too, or Harry Potter is significant with them. Look, somebody tried to do a spell. I get Lucifer and some of the house fairies heard you. House fairies are significant here. Look, this person is waiting for you to message them. If they didn't actually like do a literal spell, the thing is that everybody does witchcraft all the time. Witchcraft is everywhere. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Witchcraft is everywhere. You know, one of the books used the most often in the occult to cast spells is the Bible. It's the Bible. Yeah, I get like, you need to own your dark side a little bit more. What you seek, Libra, is going to challenge you. I'm getting this might be the masculine energy. You are trying to manifest something in a like passive way. You don't want to take action. You want this person to come towards you. Or you, them. I get it's a standoff. If you are the feminine energy, I get that you need to come more into your like dark feminine. don't think that the feminine energy in this situation, if there's a standoff, I do not contact this person. If you feel pulled to contact them, or you're seeing signs, as you're seeing their name everywhere, you feel pulled to contact them, you are hearing songs that remind you of them, but like it's stressing you out a little bit, or it feels uncomfortable, it's not, this person is trying to manifest you. This person is doing spells. A lot of times, if they're not into the occult, for some of you, they are trying to read up on the occult. It's, a lot of you guys are like spiritual and like forward with that, outward with that. This person is aware that you're a spiritual person, and they are trying to do spells on you. It reminds me of like the Taurus reading almost, like masculine knowing that the feminine does spell work or does manifesting, and so they had tried to look into manifesting so that they could like match your energy. But in that connection, it was more so like in a masculine way. This person is doing it in a feminine way, which I wouldn't. If you are a feminine person by nature and you want a relationship with somebody that is masculine, and that doesn't have to be that they are like a meathead, that just means that they're dominant energy, because normal healthy people should have both and have them both in balance. But you have one that you thrive in, and you have one that's draining for you in some way, or that you only like to be in certain situations. Like a lot of feminine people that are balanced can be like very masculine and like cutthroat in the office. But when they're outside of the office, they don't want to make decisions. They don't want to choose where you're going for lunch. They want to be with somebody that is going to take the reins and take leadership in that connection and give them the space and safety to be their feminine self. If that is the relationship that you want, you cannot accept this sort of behavior. You can't, Libra. If you want a man that is going to make the plans and you're going to show up and look pretty and that's your role, he's going to pay for it, he's going to make the plans. If you want more of a traditional relationship, you cannot chase after somebody that's feminine. How the relationship begins, a lot of times it's how it's going to go, unless it's abusive in nature. But how to know somebody's being abusive? Love bombing. Nobody can love you within 2 weeks. They don't know you. They can feel that they might love you, but they want to get to know you more. They want to spend time with you. You know, if this is somebody that you just, you'll know. You'll know when somebody, you'll have an uneasy feeling, but you'll give in. And they'll push for closeness. They'll push to be with you 24/7. They'll push to have the relationship move a lot more fast than you're comfortable with. And you'll have an uneasy feeling in your stomach, but you will let it go and accept it. And then there will come a point that you'll start to realize that it's not healthy, and you'll start to feel scared. Secure masculine people, man, whatever you identify as, they want to make the feminine feel safe. If this person makes you feel unsafe, that is a sign that they're not the person for you. And I don't mean like being with this person would be a risk and you know that they could hurt you. That doesn't mean that like you're not taking risks and you're not getting hurt, because that's what a relationship is. That's all relationships. You take a risk with friendships as well, that this person isn't going to hurt you. You know, I find that some of my friendship breakups have been far more significant than my romantic breakups. Somebody that has genuine love for you is going to make you feel safe. And if there could be something that they do that makes you feel unsafe. There could be a situation. But if you bring it to their attention and they do want to work on their relationship, they are going to address it. If you tell them this makes me feel unsafe and they ignore it, or they belittle you, or they gaslight you, or they make you feel like you're in the wrong, there might be a situation where you might be in the wrong, but obviously that's not the right relationship for you. You either work on it and overcome it. Like, somebody, you being an insecure person, you just feel insecure because of your past. The person you date should be sensitive to that, but that doesn't mean that they have to give you their location because you've been cheated on before. Like, if they're comfortable with that, sure, but if they're not comfortable with that, it's not cool to make, you get what I'm saying. You have to, there's a give and take. There's balance in everything. Yeah, I told you, you are feeling stressed because you're seeing signs. You're seeing signs of this person everywhere. It's because they are trying to manifest you. Don't give into it, Libra. If you want to be with somebody that takes charge, this person would take charge in the beginning of the relationship. Typically with a masculine person, and you know, I believe in nuances. I believe that not everything is black and white. So this is not 100%. 9 times out of 10, especially if somebody that you just met, it might be different if this is somebody that you've known and there are other implications in the relationship. You know, there are other growing pains in the relationship. That is different. If this is somebody that you just met, somebody that just came into your life in a like romantic sense, especially somebody like you matched off of a dating app, obviously you would be attracted to each other in some way. Or one person is just narcissistic and you know, that is neither here nor there. Do not chase them, because they're feminine. They're either feminine in nature, and that's just how they are. They're a feminine person. And you know, somebody can be a straight man and be feminine in nature, and they need to be with a masculine woman. There are plenty of women that are masculine. That's who their match would be. Unless it's a wounded feminine and they need time to heal themselves, but they should be with somebody that's more karmic in nature and somebody that is going to push their buttons and not be so affected by it. Did I already shuffle? If you feel stressed by this person, if you feel like you have to hide yourself in some way, and it's outside of like your own insecurities, this person is bringing insecurities out of you, don't engage with it. Just sit with the uncomfortable emotions and move past it. Things are rarely as serious as we make them, Libra. For some of you, there's childhood wounds. Yeah, something happened to you when you were, hold on. Something happened to you when you were younger, or your person, maybe. There's an energy here where somebody has a strong fear of like the supernatural. You might like a scary movie that you watched that really affected you, or you like scary movies a lot. So like the concept that like these fairies or demons or devils that are depicted in like horror films, you have a bad idea of them in reality. So I get for some of you, it's like you're protected. This is a thing about like, it depends on where you grew up, it depends on your bloodline, but certain bloodlines, certain people, certain geographical locations, there are a stronger fairy presence. And if you have a natural connection with them, or if you grew a connection with them, they will be like protective over you or want to come like see you. Or like even like in some cases it can be that like you have loved ones on the other side. I have a loved one that passed when I was very young, and this person in particular comes to visit a lot. I actually haven't seen him in a few years, but I have woken up on more than one occasion with this person on the other side, like in my room. And I've woken up before and they were like hovering over me, and then like, you know, you kind of like blink twice and then they're gone. You're receiving messages. You have either fairies or you have like loved ones on the other side. You have elders. For some of you, it's a spiritual advisor. It's like they're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect you so that you can open up more. Because I get that somebody is like scared. For some of you, it's like you're scared to do any spell work because of like karma coming towards you. But like I get that you're heavily protected, and you're heavily protected from people trying to harm you too. But if you view them, the spirits, because look at the owl over his shoulder, if you view them as scary, a lot of times it activates this like predator energy in them. I don't know how to explain this. Spirits are a lot more neutral than we give them credit for. They can appear to you in a loving way, in a way that they want to care for you and bless you, and they want to watch over you, especially like while you work. For some of you, it's like while you craft. Did you hear the bird? It's confirmation. You might notice that like birds are watching you or following you. See, for some of you, birds have been watching you, and it scares you a little bit because you think that you have this perception of fairies that they're scary, or you had a supernatural experience in childhood. Yeah, confirmation again. That scared you. There is one fairy. For some of you, I know this fairy by name. They're not a tree spirit, but they can appear to look like a tree sometimes. And it's a dark figure. It's like I met him in a journey a few years ago, and he told me to call him, but he was trying to be spooky. He told me I could call him Shadow Man, and he is like a black figure, and I had seen him in my childhood. I know who this fairy is, and if this is the fairy you're seeing, if it's like it looks like a tree with red eyes and it's dark, that is an illusion. That fairy is harmless, but they feed on fear. So sometimes they like come to visit you and they will scare you, especially when you see like figures at night and you get like people that do sleep paralysis. Sometimes they can end up like waking up with like bruises or scratch. You have to be careful with the occult because like some of this stuff is pretty dark, and you have to be conscious of like not getting yourself in trouble. For some of you, it's like you want to journey, and for some of you, you've called on Hecate, and you don't want to go there. Yeah, it's a illusion. For some of you, there's a water sign that's created an illusion. At nighttime, significant nighttime, you've seen. It's like a troll energy. People that have fairy infestations. I know because of most people that live in Appalachia are gonna have, especially if you are wooded, you're gonna have a fairy infestation. You don't even have to live in a wooded area. I have visited people, because I grew up here. I have friends that live in this area. I have visited people and they have had a fairy infestation in their house. And I am going to explain in another video how to tell if it's like spell work or if it's a fairy. And sometimes, I told Gemini, I think, sometimes people hire fairies. But if they're hired, they can be bought. And a lot of times, money is not what they want. They want something else, but you have to be able to communicate with them. That is higher level stuff. If you have that much fear, if you have like sleep paralysis demon that scares the shit out of you, what's happening is that they are powerful enough to control you in the physical to where you can't move. And they're feeding off of your energy. And if it's to the point that like you're feeling like sick or super drained, you might need to go to a shaman. Like some of this stuff can be dark, guys. You have to be careful what you open yourself up to. So you have to take it slowly. But for some of you, the fairy that you're seeing, I could literally show you what he looks like and show you his name. I have a book of fairies that he's in. And when I was looking at that book of fairies, I found him and I was like, that motherfucker. Pardon my language. I'm trying to get a little bit better with my language. I know. But when I found him in that book, I was like, how dare this man? How dare this fairy? I'm not going to show you. Your power, your magic comes in sometimes letting things be unknown. You don't need to go down the like path of like you need to know everything and understand everything. because I get that it pulls you out of your nature. These are all like weird readings, but you know, this is an air reading with water spirits. What did we expect, really? So if the message is for you, it's for you. Some of you do magic when you dance, and it's because dancing gets you in a flow state. So you might even find that if you dance, you'll get ideas come to you, or it'll clear your head even. Because I'm telling you, for some of you, like somebody's doing spells on you. I meant to say this earlier and then I got off track. Most masculine people that are not like into the occult, that are not into like, oh, let me manifest a text from this person. Most masculine people, men, do spells on women, or, you know, it would work the same homosexual relationship. You can do spells on people by masturbating to them. It's sex magic. Sex magic doesn't have to involve another person. It is more powerful when it involves other people and you all focus on the same intention. You know, there are people that do like orgy spells. You know, there are people that do like rituals and have orgies at them, and they all like manifest, are focused on manifesting a specific outcome. Or you can do it with a partner, or you can do it solo. So if this person was masturbating and like envisioning you, and they thought of you and them in some sort of like entanglement while they orgasmed, they did sex magic on you. And you will feel that, and you will suddenly feel very attracted to this person, especially if you're like attracted to them in a lustful way. If it's causing you stress, you don't have to deal with it. Just you can remove the magic. I can't tell you how. It's part of your journey to figure out by yourself. I could tell you how, but I won't. I mean, you could literally like go look at some of my former work and find ways. But, or you can ask, you can consult which talk, which YouTube, you can follow your intuition on it. For some of you, like, dancing would be beneficial. I'm gonna go. I was gonna say something, but I don't want to share that. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Oh, I see somebody up there. Interesting. Somebody, Libra, somebody might be like popping up on you. See how I did that? That's a form of divination, paying attention to your surroundings and what's going on while you're talking or thinking about something. Somebody might try to like pop up on you, or they're like watching you from afar right now. There might be an element of like spying on you, especially if this person is intentionally doing magic on you. They might be like trying to like watch you, but they're like heavily thinking about you. So whether it's intentional that they're doing this spell on you or not, it is intentional, whether it's conscious or not, because this person is like, if they aren't doing spells, it's like the law of assumption. Like they're just assuming that you're going to come back around, and they're like waiting and like even like visualizing you texting them. And it might just be something that they're like doing. They're like, oh yeah, she's going to text me any day now. She's obsessed with me. Like, no way she's getting away. No way she's going to let me go. And like this person is kind of manifesting you in that way, which is a little bit insulting. So what I get for this, Libra, is stand up. Don't text them. If you want a serious committed relationship with somebody masculine, you should be able to convey your interest to them and then sit back and allow them to like make the plans. If they're not making plans and they're not coming towards you, it might be that they're just not interested in you. And that doesn't mean that they're like never going to be interested in you. Maybe it means that you guys should just be friends for a little while and see where it goes from there. There might be attraction, but there needs to be more of like an intellectual connection, and that might take time. Especially like as an air sign, you need that like mental connection. So don't chase, don't push it. If you've let this person know that you're interested and they're not taking action towards you, let it go and focus on you. If you haven't let this person know that you're interested or you're not interested, like, that's obviously a problem. If they don't know that you're interested in them, or they don't think that you would be interested in them for one reason or the other, they're not going to pursue you just because they don't want to get their ego hurt, you know? Who wants to pursue somebody that doesn't want them? That doesn't feel good. I mean, it might be like a fetish for some people, but, you know, there's more going on internally. Normally, that's not the case. Anyway, I wouldn't, if you're seeing their name everywhere, you're feeling called to reach out to them, but you're like stopping yourself, stop and take a moment to consider, is this my energy or is this theirs? And a good way to figure that out is, would me reaching out be beneficial to me? If this person is making you feel rejected, reaching out one last time to like tell them how you feel, honestly, it's embarrassing. And we've all been there. We've all done it. We've all been that girl. But part of like just dealing with dating or, you know, maturing is recognizing that somebody that is not interested is not going to be more interested with you heavily pursuing them. And if they are, they're interested in what you can do for them, not who you are as a person. So best thing to do, unless you want to get in a situation where you're being used or taken for granted, or you're the one that has to plan and schedule everything because they don't want to put the energy into doing it themselves, or they're canceling on you all the time but still expect you to be hanging around waiting for them, or they're breadcrumbing you and wanting to like stay on your mind, but they're not willing to pursue you at this point. Like, whatever the case may be, it doesn't really matter. If they're not pursuing you, they're not pursuing you. And that's it. If you've made it clear to this person that you're interested in them, and like, you don't have to make it clear that you're interested in them 20 times. People are not dense. Men are much more intelligent and aware than society gives them credit for. And we've got to stop allowing these men to coast and allowing them to play dumb, hold people accountable. If I have conveyed interest to you and you play games with me and you try to put me in a situation where I experience jealousy, or you're trying to get me to chase after you, I don't want to be in a relationship with a feminine man. So I would rather just cut ties now and we go our separate ways. And does that mean that you are feminine by nature? You might be masculine in another relationship, but I don't want to be the masculine person in any relationship. I'm not comfortable in that energy. It's not sustainable for me. I don't enjoy it. So I prioritize myself over anybody else, because what I have 100% of the time, not even 9 times out of 10, 100% of the time, if I'm so wrapped up in somebody that I am willing to give up parts of, like, give up on my own needs, really. If I'm so fixated on somebody that I'm willing to ignore my own needs or accept that my needs aren't going to be met, and I still continue to like prioritize them and idolize them, that's a sign for me that like something's not right. Something is not right. Nobody takes the priority over me. Nobody. And I know some mothers, because like, what about like, you know, I love my dog. I love my dog dearly. But if I'm not good, if I sacrifice myself for her, like, she's not going to have anybody to take care of her. You know, like, motherhood isn't self-sacrifice for women. Motherhood should be, I take care of myself so that I can model to my children, one, what it looks like to a woman taking care of herself and prioritizing herself and to live in peace and abundance. I need to model that so that my children don't struggle trying to find that for themselves, first and foremost. Second of all, you can't show up 100% when you're drained. When you're not taking care of yourself. And yeah, there are situations and times where you have to self-sacrifice, but if you're always sacrificing, I mean, it's not like you can get rid of your children, but something's got to give, and it can't be you or your mental health if people are relying on you. You have to take care of yourself. You have to. And what you'll find is that when you're taking care of yourself, your relationships improve. They might be a little awkward at first. People might have to get to know you again, but they improve because I'm not feeling resentful because I'm overgiving. I'm able to meet you where you are, rather than feeling resentful because I've given so much of myself and I'm not getting met with that energy back. That's the feminine dilemma. You want to be mommy and take care of people and, you know, bring warmth and beauty and art and creativity. That's feminine. So somebody can be, I'm so done with this conversation. Creative men are going to be more in touch with their feminine side, but they should not be leading from their feminine side unless that is truly who they are. And in that case, it won't be from a manipulative standpoint. They won't be manipulating women into chasing them. They will be aligning with masculine women and allowing them to be pursued. But that's what they want. Some women are into that. Whatever you're into, there's somebody out there that can match your freak. But you've got to stop manipulating people into getting your needs met, when you could just meet them yourself and align with people that meet your needs. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye.